Hi everyone, I'm Jim, and welcome to the review of Rise of the Tyrant, the 7th studio album by the band Arch Enemy. Today we celebrate the 15th anniversary of the record, so I've decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. The album was recorded by the second classic lineup of the band, which features Angela on vocals, Brothers on guitars, Shane the bassist and Daniel the drummer. It's the same lineup from the year 2000 right until 2012. I've been listening to this band since 2002 because I had a metal compilation CD and there was a song called Behind the Smile from the album Wages of Sin by Arch Enemy. It was the first thing I've heard from this band, and later when I had the internet in 2008 I've decided to check all of the albums on YouTube, and I've really enjoyed them, and I've been a fan ever since. When it comes to the music, the brothers mostly do it, the Amott brothers. As you can see here, the first 5 songs and the last one were made by the brothers. The rest is made by Michael Amott. He's the guy with the red hair. I don't particularly enjoy his songwriting. I think that the other brother was better. Sadly, he's not in the band anymore. We can't do anything about that, so let's just review this thing. The production is poor. The album was produced by the band members and some guy called Frederick. This is the worst mixing and mastering in the history of Arch Enemy. The album sounds very compressed and muddy at the same time. You cannot even hear the bass that well. You really need to focus to enjoy this music. The guitars aren't loud enough for me. It's just a weak production, I must say. You can still survive listening through it, but yeah, it's very similar to that loudness war shit that Rick Rubin was doing. You can put on the first Arch Enemy album, Black Earth, and it sounds way better. The message is diverse, songs are about lots of topics, you can explore them on your own. The structure is basic, typical melodev stuff, you know, intro, verse, chorus, solo, bridge, solo, and chorus. It's almost always like that. The first song, Blood on Your Hands, is actually an amazing opener. Everything in this song just works, except the production. I love the chorus the most and the solos, legendary stuff. The drummer is killing it, it's hard to hear the bassist. Angela's vocals are just beautiful, I love her screams and growls, she's the best. 10 out of 10 track. The Last Enemy is on the same level, but it actually has better vocals. Angela seems so furious and angry at this song that it almost reminds me her vocals from her first album with the band Wages of Sin. Amazing stuff, my favorite vocal performance on this album, and the riffs are just amazing, and the whole atmosphere of this song is very sinister and ominous. The Last Enemy is the highlight of this record, 10 out of 10. Now things are going downhill because it's the first single, I Will Live Again, and well, it's one of the most commercial Arch Enemy songs, at least with this lineup. It has more of that radio vibe going on, but it's still melodev. I enjoy it, I think it's actually great. It's funny because when I became a fan of this band, this was their newest album and I was very disappointed by it. But now, it's 15 years later, and I grew to appreciate it for what it is, and this song particularly, because it's way better than what Arch Enemy was doing for the last 10 years. 8 out of 10. In This Shallow Grave is also kinda commercial, and I like the more death metal-y approach here, but some of the melodies on guitars are annoying me, but besides that, everything else in the song was perfect. 7 out of 10. Revolution Begins was either the first or the second single from the record. I don't enjoy this song. I did not like it when it was released and I don't like it now. Pop radio song, I would say. It has a cool bridge, but the verses are just atrocious for me. I would skip this one every time. I had to endure it today for you guys. Never again. 5 out of 10. Rise of the Tyrant is an average song, but it has a cool atmosphere and the chorus riffs are fun and great. But it's not a great song, it's just decent. It's like a B-side from Doomsday Machine. 6 out of 10. The Day You Died, I have the same exact feeling about it as with the previous song. The only difference is that this song is way more melodic than the previous one, but it's still nothing special or fancy. You're going to forget about it after you hear it. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Intermezzo Liberté, or however you pronounce it, is the worst thing on this record. I don't know shit about music theory, but these kinds of sounds really annoy me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'm brain dead or something, but it doesn't sound like a melody in my mind. It sounds like something that wants to annoy me. So most of the melodies in this song are hurting me physically. I just cannot listen to it. I don't enjoy it at all. If you do, that's fine. I'm happy for you that you can stand this thing. If you know music theory, just tell me in the comments what the fuck is going on guitars in this track, so I can just understand what is it that's hurting my brain. 4 out of 10. Night Falls Fast and The Great Darkness are very similar to each other. They're just filler tracks that are fun to listen to, but they are not memorable. I just finished listening to this album like 20 minutes ago, and I already don't remember these songs. I know that they weren't bad and above average, but nothing special or good. So yeah, 6 out of 10 to both of them. And the final song, Vultures, which both of the brothers wrote. Many people suggest that this is the best song on the record. I don't agree with this statement. I think it's very similar to Revolution Begins in terms of quality. I don't like the guitar riffs here or the melodies, it's very repetitive. The only thing I actually enjoy about this song, and it's the only thing that makes me rate it not below average, is the piano at the end. I really enjoyed that melody. Sometimes I just listen to it over and over again because it's very fun to listen to. The rest of the song is not. So 5 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is various. We have some amazing songs at the beginning, then it all goes downhill. The flow is fine. As I said before, it just goes downhill. You don't even have to hear the second part of the album, because it has nothing interesting to offer. Replayability? It's a decent album. If you are a big fan of melodic death metal, check this record out. You might enjoy some of the songs. It's not the best thing Arch Enemy has to offer. Every record before it was way better in terms of production, songwriting, the overall quality and the appeal. Still, the beginning was nice. The first 2 songs, my favorite ones, I come back to them sometimes, especially The Last Enemy, because I love Angela's vocals on it. It's one of those records you go back to see if you remembered it correctly, because you either thought it was very bad and you wanted to check it, or you thought it was really good and you wanted to see if it still holds up. I've enjoyed listening to it, but it's just as I remember. It's one of the weakest things Arch Enemy has done, but it's still better than their newest albums. That's all from me, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my other reviews. Bye!